All right, happy 4th of July, Blood Dads. We are here at Mabry Mill, and just from the sound of the last word, mill, we're at a mill, a true working mill that used to function for the Appalachian people here. So let me turn this around so you can see the legend to the map. Okay, so we're in the overflow parking area down at the bottom right over here. We're actually parked near the restaurant where we were told by the stewardess, by the waitress at the Bluffs restaurant to come down here and get the ice cream in the restaurant. And so we walked down a short way to the actual mill in the pond. I'm standing right over here, and there's some interesting artifacts that you've seen from the Appalachian lifestyle. So over here is the overflow parking. There's a comfort station. So let's take a look at these items right over here. So right in front of us is the farming tools. There's a sorghum mill. In the back is the blacksmith shop. They have a moonshine still? Really? That's interesting. I wonder what that's going to taste like. Anyway, let's go ahead and travel and take a look at what some of these items are and what they do. Because back in the day, or nowadays, we don't use these types of things. But they're precursors to some of the ingenuity that people had. Okay. I've always heard of sorghum. I don't know what it is. But we'll have you read it right here. And how they harvested it. All right, let's move on here. That's the evaporator pan. So the sorghum can come through and you have your product. This must be the tool shed. Here's an old wagon chassis. Kind of going a different way here, but that's all right. Log cabin. Blacksmith shop. Everything was made of wood back then. And then some of the water would flow down over here to an area where the mill would run everything. Let's come back over here. The mill is going to be the last thing that we see. I really want to look around and go around. I really like this stop because it gives you a sense of what the peoples did for their Appalachian life. So the Blue Ridge Parkway is right there. And I like how you're able to come off the highway and that is a whiskey still. So I believe they hitch the horse, and then this thing would do a rotation and grind it. This is one of the, I like the way they prepared these posts. This is one of my favorite. I love looking at this. It's such a unique way of putting up a fence. Kind of in this zigzag pattern, alternating logs, so there's space in between. It's real rustic. I love that. So there's an Appalachian house right there. Okay, we're gonna come up and there's gonna be an interpreter.
And after school, what do you think you did?
More chores.
More chores until the sun went down. That's what it was. The only time the routine changed was Sunday morning. And the family would go and gather with other families in the area for church, nation, and socialize, and have a potluck lunch. Then you came home after lunch, and what do you think you did?
Nothing.
More chores.
More chores.
Yeah.
You couldn't like do other
Slack
stuff.
off because you had to grow everything you needed to survive.
Yep.
You had to grow enough for yourself today and what you were going to need over the winter. You had to cut and stack and season wood. You had to put up your preserves, can your vegetables, and do all the work necessary to get through the winter.
We learned about that. My mom read Little House on the Prairie. Laura Ingalls.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Paul Kitchen, one of the interpretive rangers, he gave us 2 stamps, one for Mabry Mill and one for Rocky Knob. Now the visitor center, for some reason, is closed. That's why he was able to stamp it for us here. Fortunately, we can go to Rocky Knob, just the visitor center won't be open. Okay? All right, so the last thing that we're gonna do is go right there and check out the mill. But my daughter wants to take a picture in front of this large tree. So I'm gonna take her picture right over here. Just turn around. Smile. There she is. Okay, here you go, pretty girl. Okay, and the last stop, one of the most iconic, and that's why they call it the Mabry Mill. Log cart. Well, it's not here. Let's take a look at this and how it works. It's very, very interesting. Lumber drying rack. Huh, interesting. So they would stack the lumber as they cut it and dry it out so it doesn't warp. Never thought about that. Whoa, look at the size of these stones, huh? Millstones, yep. So here's the mill. Obviously it's closed. So that's the end of the mill. There's the parking lot, and it goes the rest of the way to the creek. These beautiful flowers. All right. So you can see the water is flowing through here, and then it goes into the mill, and you can see the mill moving. I'm in the wrong angle, but let's take a look inside. Maybe we can see inside. Barely. Can't see a thing. Done by chicken wire. The race and the flumes. Huh, interesting. Playing checkers.
I'm waiting. All right, go now. Oh. Oh.
Pretty interesting, huh? All right, we'll go to the front over here to where we are, but you get a great way of taking over the bridge. You can see the mill at the end over there. So he was talking about the runoff and the flumes. So in order to have enough power to run that wheel right over there, so obviously you could see they cut a piece out here because it's not a running mill anymore, and they just let the water drop. But he would take it from two sources of the stream to flow faster in order for that to move and do what it needs to do. So this is from one of the streams up here. So let's check it out.
He has too much fun on his dad.
So as you can see, they've done lots of work in order to make the stream flow as nicely as it does. They didn't have concrete back then. Just a nice flow of a stream. There's the running mill. Let's go down and see what it's like. A closer look. There it is. The running mill. There's this nice little pond area right over here. It collects some of the water as well as the runoff. And this is along the Blue Ridge Parkway. Alright, so if you like what you see here at Blab Dad, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Come down to Mabry Mill. Don't forget to get the ice cream up there at the restaurant area, and then tour around and check out how Appalachian life used to be way back when. All right, see you next stop, which is Rocky Knob Visitor Center.